Justin Herbert has shocked the NFL world. The former Chargers quarterback, long considered the franchise's golden boy, has officially signed with the Miami Dolphins in a blockbuster move that's already sending tremors across the AFC. It's not just about a fresh start. This is about rewriting the power structure of the conference. And if Herbert's words are anything to go by, he didn't come to South Beach just for the sunshine. He came to dominate. Let's be clear, this is no ordinary quarterback swap. This is a seismic shift. After months of speculation about the Dolphins, long-term faith in Tua Tagovailoa, and growing doubts within the Chargers front office about their ability to build a championship-caliber roster around Herbert, both parties finally moved on. Miami pounced. They didn't hesitate. And now, with Herbert in aqua and orange, the rest of the AFC has a new storm to worry about. Herbert, fresh off another statistically stellar but ultimately underwhelming season with Los Angeles, made it. Known in his introductory press conference, "I'm here to win." Not later, now, where the AFC runs through Miami and we're coming for it all. That's not just a quarterback talking. That's a franchise quarterback planting a flag. And with a 5-year, $275 million deal to back it up, the Dolphins are betting big on their new star. The move is as much a declaration as it is a transaction. Miami isn't waiting anymore. For years, the Dolphins flirted with potential. They had moments, big wins, flashy plays, bursts of brilliance, but they always fell just short of true contention. Now they're making a statement. With Herbert, they believe they finally have the missing piece. A cannon-armed, cool-headed, top-5 quarterback ready to elevate a talented roster into the Super Bowl conversation. And let's talk about that roster. This isn't just a team that got a new quarterback. It's a team that's already loaded with speed, skill, and swagger. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle give Herbert arguably the most dangerous receiver duo in football. The Dolphins' run game, revitalized under Mike McDaniel, offers balance and explosiveness. And that defense? It's fast, aggressive, and built to get the ball back in Herbert's hands. This isn't a rebuild. This is a team built to win right now, and Herbert knows it. There's also the McDaniel factor. The Dolphins head coach has built a reputation as one of the NFL's most creative offensive minds. And now he has a quarterback with both the arm, talent, a mental processing to unlock every dimension of his playbook. It's a pairing that could be downright terrifying for opposing defenses. Imagine Herbert throwing deep to Tyreek Hill on a perfectly timed play action. Imagine 3rd and 12 with Waddle breaking free underneath. This offense could become a nightmare matchup every single week. But it's not just the on-field fit that makes this move electric. It's the mindset. Herbert isn't the same quiet, understated kid that entered the league out of Oregon. He's grown. He's hardened by years of carrying a flawed Chargers roster and watching playoff hopes crumble around him. In Miami, he sees an opportunity not just to win, but to redefine his legacy. For all his stats and highlights, Herbert hasn't yet tasted playoff glory. He hasn't had the postseason moment that cements a quarterback as elite. That's what he's chasing. That's what he wants. And that hunger, it's dangerous because make no mistake, this move, Ed, is going to ripple through the entire conference. The AFC is already a quarterback gauntlet. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, and now Herbert in Miami with a top-tier supporting cast and a front office that clearly believes in going all in. It's a declaration of war, and the battles are going to be legendary. Just imagine the matchups. Herbert versus Mahomes in a high-stakes primetime showdown. Herbert versus Allen in a playoff dogfight. Herbert returning to LA to face his old team with revenge on his mind. The storylines write themselves, and the pressure, it's real. The Dolphins didn't just pay for a quarterback, they paid for a savior. Now, it's on Herbert to deliver, and from the sound of it, he's not backing down. Pressure doesn't scare me, Herbert said with that calm fire in his voice. I've been through it. I've played hurt. I've lost games we should have won. I've taken the heat, and now I've got a chance to do it with a team that believes in me. That's all I need. There's a conviction in Herbert now that feels different. It's not just hope, it's certainty. It's a quarterback who knows he has what it takes and finally feels the pieces around him are strong enough to match his ambition. And that confidence, that's contagious. The Dolphins locker room has already embraced him. Tyreek Hill called Herbert A real one. Waddle said he's never been more excited to catch passes in his life. And McDaniel? He's calling it a perfect storm. You get the sense that this isn't just another off-season headline. This is the beginning of something bigger. Of course there will be doubters. There always are. Some will say Herbert still has to prove he can win when it counts. Others will question whether the Dolphins, long haunted by inconsistency, can finally put it all together. But here's the thing. Every Super Bowl run starts with a risk. And this is the Dolphins' biggest gamble in 2 decades. But it just might be the one that changes everything. The AFC has been Mahomes' kingdom for the last 5 years. He's the gold standard, the final boss. If you want to win it all, you have to go through him. Herbert knows that. And that's exactly why he chose Miami. Because to beat the king, you need the right army. And now he believes he has it. The countdown begins now. Training camp is months away, but the fire has already been lit. Dolphins fans have waited a long time for a moment like this. A quarterback who isn't just talented, but transcendent. A roster that isn't just fast, but complete. A belief that this finally could be the year. Justin Herbert is in Miami. He's talking about dominance. And for the first time in a long time, it doesn't feel like empty words. It feels like a warning. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up. Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Something curious is happening in Miami. A fresh face is in town, and with him comes a number that practically dares people to talk about it. Zach Wilson is the new number 2 quarterback for the Dolphins, but it's not just his spot on the depth chart that's turning heads. It's the jersey number he's chosen. 0, yes, 0. There's something symbolic about it, something almost poetic. You don't just pick that number without a reason. And in the NFL, where image, confidence, and swagger are baked into the fabric of the game, Wilson's decision feels like more than just a fashion choice. It feels like a statement. He's only the 2nd quarterback in league history to wear it. Marcus Mariota was the first, suiting up with that striking 0 in Washington just last year. Mariota, once a top pick himself, described his reason for choosing the number as a nod to the doubters. A reminder, he said, that people didn't think he could do it anymore. Sound familiar? Wilson's path to this point has been anything but smooth. Drafted with great expectations by the New York Jets in 2021, he was supposed to be the future, the next franchise guy. But things unraveled quickly. Inconsistency, criticism, and ultimately a benching followed. New York moved on. And now here he is starting over in South Florida, wearing a number that's as much about his past as it is about what comes next. Will he explain the meaning behind the number? Probably, and when he does, every word will be dissected. Is it about redemption? Is it about defiance? Is it about forgetting everything that came before and starting again from scratch? 0? There's irony in how the NFL has only recently allowed this number to even exist on jerseys. For decades, players could go anywhere from 1 and up, but 0 was off limits. That changed just 2 seasons ago, opening the door for players like Mariota and now Wilson to embrace the blank slate. But if you look back, the idea of 0 isn't new in the NFL. Once upon a time, 0 was a real thing. Legends like Jim Otto, Ken Burrow, and Steve Baggeris wore it with pride, long before it was deemed too unconventional for modern rosters. There's a certain nostalgia there, and some fans still long for the league to bring it back. After all, what's more defiant than a pair of zeros staring back at everyone who wrote you off? Still, number debates aside, the real intrigue surrounding Zach Wilson isn't about digits on his back. It's about what he'll do with this second chance. It's about whether this stop in Miami is just that, a stop, or something more. Could he be the next comeback story? History has shown us that sometimes quarterbacks need a change of scenery to finally bloom. Just ask Geno Smith. Written off after his time with the Jets, Smith quietly rebuilt his career and eventually turned heads in Seattle. Or look at Ryan Fitzpatrick. He bounced from team to team, including the Jets, before finding late career magic and earning the respect he'd long been denied. Could Wilson follow that same script? The tools are there. He has the arm strength, he's mobile, and he's still young. But the question has never been about raw talent. It's been about decision-making, leadership, and whether he can adjust to the brutal pace and pressure of the league. In Miami, the spotlight isn't quite as harsh as it is in New York. He's not the starter. He's not the face of the franchise. That belongs to Tua Tagovailoa, at least for now. But there's something powerful about being out of the line of fire. It gives Wilson time to breathe, time to learn, time to reframe his narrative without the weight of a city's expectations crushing him every Sunday. And make no mistake, people will be watching every throw in preseason, every snap in practice, every whisper from coaches or teammates. It won't take much for speculation to swirl. Could he challenge for the job? Could he be the future in Miami if things go sideways? Or is this just a pit stop before the next chapter begins? That's the mystery. That's the tension. No one knows. Yet what this new version of Zach Wilson will look like. Will he still be the quarterback who hesitates under pressure? Or will we see a player reborn? More composed, more mature, more determined than ever. One thing's for sure. When he steps onto the field wearing that stark, defiant 0 on his chest, all eyes will be on him. Not because he's the starter, not because he's making bold proclamations, but because in that single digit, there's a story waiting to be told. One of failure, of redemption, of the long road back from the edge of irrelevance. And maybe, just maybe, that number will end up meaning more than anyone expected. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week?